We're going to be doing the independent living scale. We're going to start with the screening. So I'm going to ask the patient to please read this aloud.
CJA 4925.
Okay. All right. You can flip to the next page. And can you read this aloud?
CJA 4925.
Okay, can you read that?
What time does the evening news begin?
Okay. Now read this aloud.
What time does the evening news begin?
All right. Will you sign this? Will you sign your name on this piece of paper, please?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, can you write this sentence on this same piece of paper? Okay, now I'd like you to stand up and walk forward about 6 feet. Turn around and walk back to your chair and sit down.
Okay.
Okay, so since the patient did everything well, I'm going to circle adequate on every thing on this screening. For the independent living scale test, there's 5 subscales that you can test. They include memory, orientation, managing money, managing home and transportation, health and safety, and social adjustment. Today for this patient, we're going to be testing the social adjustment. Okay. Use this scale to rate this statement. 1 means agree, 2 means agree somewhat, and 3 means disagree. Let's try the first one. It says, I look forward to tomorrow.
Agree somewhat.
Okay. I feel good about myself.
Agree somewhat.
Okay. Now rate this statement. It says, always feel down.
Agree.
Okay. I'm often angry at others.
Agree somewhat.
I would feel I would be missed if I weren't around anymore.
Agree.
Please rate this statement. I often think of killing myself.
Agree somewhat.
What are 3 things that you value in life?
My family and my job, and that's really it. I don't really have 3.
Okay. All right. Tell me 2 reasons why it is important to have relationships with people.
I don't even know any reasons why.
Okay. How often do you talk to a friend?
Maybe like once a month.
Okay. How often do you see this friend that you mentioned talking to? Once a month.
Never.
Okay. All right, that's the end of the test. So for the scoring, you just take all of her scores and add them up at the bottom. So this right here would be 1, and all of these would add up to 8.
So to find the score for the test,
you will add up all of the scores on the different subscales. So for this one, the raw score is 7. And add all these up. And then for this one, the raw score is also 20. And for this one, the raw score is 30. And then the raw score is 8. And so you'll take all those numbers, come over here, and put them in their appropriate categories for the raw score. And then once you get all of these in the categories for the raw score, you'll come to table A1. And so, for example, for memory and orientation, the patient scored a 7. And so you would look right here, 0 to 9. And so their standard score would be 20. And so you repeat that for all of the categories. And then once you add all of these up, you'll get a subscale total sum. And then you'll take that sum and go to table A2. And so we look for 135 and it falls right here. And so our full scale standard score would be 55. For the factors, which is problem solving and performance/information, you would add up all the totals right here in the boxes. And then for that, we got 24 and 6. For that, we got 1. For this one, we got 3. For this one, we got 13 and 7. 12 and 7. And then we did that. And so you would come over here and once you added all of them up, this is the raw score, so 50 and 23. And then once you do that, get the raw, you go to table A1 and you do kind of the same thing that we did with the other ones. So 50 for problem solving would be 34, which is right there. And then 23 for this category would be 32, which is right there. And then you would mark on the chart all of your scores, the standard scores, and you connect them together and you get your chart.
So by looking at this chart, and since all of our numbers fell under the line for low, that would just mean that my patient probably would not live independently and he's low functioning.